Hello, my name is Andy, and I am the village idiot. And I'm armed with a car and a GoPro, and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. And time is not something I'm going to need a real lot of for this one. It's a very, very small place I've got for you today. We're in West Lindsey, in one of the smallest ones it's got, and I'm beginning my walk around at something called Ferry Farm Yard. We're on the eastern bank of the Trent here. There used to be a ferry that went across the river and into Bassetlaw. Welcome to Walkerith. Walkerith is where we are today, a tiny hamlet on the eastern bank of the River Trent, lying entirely on alluvium. Wikipedia wrongly lists this place as being within the civil parish of East Stockwith. This is why you should never fully trust the internet. Walkerith is still a civil parish in its own right, backed up by many more online sources. Even though this is such a small place, at one of the most westerly, out-of-the-way places in the county, it still sees a fair bit of traffic as it lies on a road linking Gainsborough to Keadby Bridge. Walkerith has been documented since the 13th century. The place name means the landing place of the fullers or cloth dressers, from the Old English Walker and hith. The name indicates its functional dependence on the Trent as a landing place or wharf, and this is reflected in its plan. From the 19th century, it had a two-row layout, but earlier it may have formed a single row fronting the Trent, whose back lane later became the present main street. To give you an idea of how small Walkerith is, I've only taken, what, a few hundred steps, and I'm virtually at the end of the village. There isn't much more to it than what I'm showing you right now. In 1885, Kelly's Directory recorded Walkerith as a township within the ecclesiastical parish of East Stockwith, with its own ferry across the Trent and a Wesleyan chapel built in 1834. There's no demographic information for this one other than its size, a tiny 1.1 square kilometres, easily one of Lincolnshire's smallest. I still managed to find an average house price for this one, despite its size. £280,000 is the asking price out here. By far the biggest piece of history Walkerith has comes in the form of the ferry that used to run over the Trent. Okay, it's a little windy on the riverbank. Over the river, you can see Walkeringham. There were 10 ferries between Gainsborough and the mouth of the Trent at Trent Falls, where it meets the River Ouse and forms the Humber. The first of the 10 after Gainsborough to the north was here at Walkerith. There were further ferries at Stockwith, Wildsworth, Ouston Ferry, Susworth, Butterwick, Burringham, Keadby, Flixborough and Burton upon Stather. By the early 1800s, steam packets were running regularly between Hull and Gainsborough, stopping at each ferry point to pick up passengers and cargo. So if you're wondering where the ferry went from, it was just here. That house in shot there, that's the ferry house. And I imagine boats would have docked just here. On the other side of the river you can see, although it's not very clear, I think you can just about see a landing on the other side, where they would have docked on the other side. Walkerith had not only a ferry but also a shipbuilders too, and they built cattle ferries. These days, Walkerith's transportation is limited to just the road. It's on that one road where we find ourselves again after a walk down the Trent to check out a farm shop. This is Fieldside Farm Shop, and it's Walkerith's only real amenity. Offering quality local produce, it also does hot food and sandwiches. And there's just time for a card on the small parish notice board at Ferry Farm Yard. Big or small, I'll cover them all. Cheers Walkerith, this was a nice short walk. And that's pretty much that. There's no picture bit today because it's too small to warrant one. And if you come to Walkerith, that's what you'll find. I've pretty much filmed everything. It's a very small village, didn't take me very long to do, but that's how they are, these settlements along the eastern bank of the Trent. You'll find in the next couple of episodes there's other ones that are similar to this. In fact, there's 2 of them which will be a little bit bigger, but not too much bigger. It won't take me long to do. Okay, so this has been the parish of Walkerith, and I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.